Hi, this is Dr. Ben Morrill. Welcome to episode 39 of Reptile Genetics Weekly. Very excited to have you here. We've got some really cool information to give you today. First of all, as always, we'll talk about the shed testing results. So I am analyzing results right now. So today is Tuesday. If you watch this the night that it goes up. So tomorrow I'll also be analyzing probably the majority of the day, and then we'll start getting results updated. So probably late tomorrow or sometime on Thursday is when you'll see your results come through. And those of you that were waiting for sex determination, we should have all of that out, except for unless you just sent your shed in within the last few days. You should have those results. So if you're still looking for sex determination, reach out to us because I think we should have all of that out. We are finally starting to see things slow down a little as far as how many sheds are coming in, which we expected, which we've talked about. That's when we would focus on researching other things. So it will probably be the first week in February will be when we do another big sequencing run. But do keep in mind we have the new fast testing going. So for clown, desert ghost, DGC specifically, and then for VPI xanthic, those three, you're not going to have to wait all the way till next that first week in February for us to start sequencing and analyzing. For those three, you'll get those quickly. So starting the 15th of this month, so only less than a week away now, next Monday, we'll start doing that fast testing. And so if your sheds come into us for one of those three or two of those three or whatever, you'll get those results real quick. So it's 2 business days, you'll have your results. And then I'm also working on adding more tests. So we're going to have other tests like PIDE and hypo and puzzle and sunset. A lot of those others I'm going to get added as fast testing. I hope to have 2, 3, maybe 4 more added by the end of January. And as soon as they're working well, whatever sheds we have for those morphs, we'll run them as fast tests. So you'll get results much quicker. But for like a full panel, the next batch of results isn't going to be until after that first week in February is when we'll do the sequencing and then start analyzing. So it'll be about a month from now. So just have that as an expectation. But if we start getting flooded with sheds again, then we'll do it quicker. But if things stay as they are right now, will be a little bit more spacing between these big runs. So just so you know about that. And then we do also have discounting. I know Kayla popped this up a second ago. We do for sure have Morph Market has quantity discounts going, and that's per test. So if you have 5 sheds and you want to test for clown and pied, that's 10 tests. And so you'll get the discount. The first discount is at 10 tests. You'll get 10% off. And then the next discount is at 50 tests. So if you have 25 that you're going to run for clown and pied or clown and DG or whatever, at that 50 mark, so 50 tests, you would also be able to get 15% off. So even better percent off there. And I think that's going to be at least through January. I'd have to ask Sean for sure, but I think we'll have some kind of discounting at least January and February. And we'll just kind of see how things go. But we want to give any of you that are going to run sheds during the slower season, give you a little bit of a discount. And if you want to pay ahead for what you're going to send in the spring or summer, you want to get it at a lower cost, you can buy now and then use them in the spring or summer. So yeah, that's what I have. Kind of a lot of updates. That ended up being a lot, but anyway, we've got some cool stuff to talk about. I want to get Kayla on here. How are you doing, Kayla?
I'm doing great, and it looks like my video froze again, so apparently I'm going to be like giving you the side eye today, so, which is fine, but
that's pretty funny.
Yeah, we could like pause it and I could fix it, but honestly, it's kind of funny that way. So
that's Kayla's face when I'm talking too long during the intro, and she can't put any B footage up. It's just me talking.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's okay. I don't mind.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. Yeah, that is a funny freeze though.
I've had worse freezes, so this is fine. But yeah, let's get to it. So last week we dropped a whole bunch of new tests.
Yes, yeah. So included in these results I'm analyzing today, we have some of the first puzzle test results. So thank you to those of you that jumped on it and sent sheds in right away. I know lots of you were excited about the puzzle test. So we are seeing puzzle testing jump up, even though the overall number of sheds are slowing down in January and February, like we expect. We're excited to do some puzzle testing and Blue-eyed Lucy as well. We doing some of the first getting first results out to people for Blue-eyed Lucy tests. So thank you for using the testing, and we'll get those results to you in the next day or two.
Yeah, that's exciting. Let's see, what else do we have here? So let's talk about Jergen.
Yeah, so this is the most exciting stuff to talk about today. So on the run, I also have results for a new test. And this is thanks to Jergen of ProHerper. So he's in Europe, and he worked, I think, along with Hans Wimmer to get a bunch of super hurricane sheds. I think he said he had like 20 super hurricane sheds.
Wow.
And so they were able to do the sequencing and mapping and design and develop and validate a test. And he was interested in us working with him as well and validating the test here in the United States and making it available. So we worked out a deal with him. And so I have a whole bunch of data on this. I ran like a full 96 samples for this new hurricane test. And I had over 60 of them that were negative. So they're other samples other than hurricane, to make sure that it's clean. We don't want it to say it's positive when it's not a hurricane. So I had like 60 of them that were negative, and then the rest were either hurricanes or tricks or blitz or possible hurricane or possible trick from people that sent in. That ended up being over 20 that were hurricanes that ended up being positive or het for hurricane. We did have a few tricks that were sent in, and those are identical. Those are positive. So hurricane and trick are the same thing. And that's something that Jergen just put a video up this weekend where he talked
just 2 days ago.
2 days ago, yeah. So he's the one that did that initial work, like I said, designing the test and validating it. And so he ran both hurricanes and tricks, and they were identical in his hands. And then when I did that here with samples from people here in the United States, same story. We have hurricanes and tricks that have the identical exact same mutation. And then there was one blitz sample. You said this was something that Morph Market posted?
Yeah, I think it was on Darian Drollinger's personal page, but
okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap between those two, to be fair. So
yeah. So he probably saw Jergen or might have heard us talking about it or some of both. But
oh yeah,
that's a great post. So I only had one blitz sample that I could run. It also was het for this, positive or het for this hurricane/trick test. So likely blitz is also identical, but obviously only running one. We're not going to add that to the description yet. So any of you that have blitzes, if you want to send in, we would happily run 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 more for free, just to make sure that we know that blitz is the same thing. But likely all 3 are identical, but right now we'll list it as a hurricane/trick test. And I think that's the same thing Jergen is doing in Europe as well.
Very nice. Well, it's awesome to have other folks working on this with us. Like it's invaluable to the hobby. So it's good to hear.
Yes. Yes. That's great. Love it.
Yeah.
It was not that long ago, only like 3 or 4 years ago. I was walking around at Tinley and at Daytona and other shows, handing out flyers, talking about, hey, we could do genetic testing in reptiles. I went around and handed it to different breeders and people running the show, and people were, happy to talk about it and kind about it, but I kind of seemed just like a weird guy.
Yeah. It's like, why does this guy want all my sheds?
Yeah. It's really fun to see so many, and little did I know back then there were other people also thinking about it and working on it.
Yeah,
Now we know who those people are. So yeah,
absolutely.
awesome. We've been able to make as much progress as we have. We're definitely thankful to all the people working on reptile genetic testing. And so we've got
Exactly.
Jergen. Jergen is the pro herper. That's the European group. The Canadian group is Dr. Rafi and Garcia Elfring, and then the Ball Python Genetics Project here in the U.S. That's Dr. Hannah Sadell and her students at Eastern Michigan University. So that's awesome. Awesome to see this.
Actually, so you went and recorded a video earlier today, with our friends over at Gray's Reptiles, and so do we want to go ahead and share that?
Yeah. Let's play that video. That was a great one.
All right, here we go.
All right, there we are. Dr. Ben, thank you so much for inviting me to this. I'm so excited to hear what you have to say.
Yes. How are you doing, Gray?
Doing fantastic. Thank you so much.
Good. I know I kind of came out of nowhere. Are you in the middle of work, or what are you up to?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of work. I work a full-time job aside from the ball pythons. But this is perfect timing. I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Awesome. Good. Well, I have some results for you.
Oh, what do you got?
Do you happen to know animal 220707?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And
You want to tell a little bit about what that animal is?
okay, 220702. That is going to be
707.
707. That I believe, I'm trying to remember the exact animal, but that has to do with the hurricane gene, if I remember correctly.
Yep. It says the dam was an OD piebald and the sire was a hurricane het piebald.
Yes, exactly. And I sent in a whole bunch of sheds, and I wanted to see if it proved out to be hurricane. And I know you didn't have the way to test for it yet, so I've been waiting. And I was crossing my fingers that this would be some good news.
Well, and thank you so much you sent several hurricane sheds, and you were by far the one that sent the most hurricane sheds into us.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yes, and it is a hurricane.
Yes, that is so awesome. You guys rock. I tell you, you guys are a true lifesaver in this community. I mean, there's so many genes that when you mix them up with other genes, it's so difficult to determine what you actually have. And with you guys being able to do this, it allows us to know exactly what we have. So thank you so much from my family and I. You guys rock.
Oh, you bet. And honestly, this, as we'll talk about on the show tonight, and we'll have this be part of the show tonight, as long as you're okay with it.
Oh, I'm fine with it. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So we'll talk about more in the show tonight, but this opportunity popped up where a group in Europe did the work for hurricane. And we needed a way to validate, make sure it worked in our hands. And we had your sheds sitting right there. And so as soon as I got the information, I had a pile of sheds, which, like I said, majority of them were from you and also a few other people. But yeah, I had sheds ready to go because of all of you. So we can't do it without you all. So thank you as well. And congrats on having a hurricane het pied male.
Thank you so very much. You really made my day. Thank you so much, Dr. Ben.
Yes. Thank you for jumping in, and good luck with the rest of your work.
My pleasure, and have a good one.
All right. Talk to you later, Gray.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. The hurricane morph test is here.
Yes. We even got the first results out for a possible hurricane, and it ended up proving out. So
yeah.
Cool.
And yeah, special shout out to Gray's family, Gray's Reptiles. Like, you guys really, you sent in so many hurricane sheds. This is a little screenshot of one of their leopard hurricane clowns that they produce, I think.
That's a pretty combo.
So pretty. So yeah, love that.
Yes, and it's also kind of a shout out to the Pomona show. I didn't get to go this time. They just had it this last weekend. I would imagine Ray was there. Sounds like that was a pretty awesome show, and we're hoping, Kayla and I were talking, we're hoping one or two, maybe even Sean as well. Maybe all three of us can go to one of the Pomona shows, maybe the summer one this year, but we'll see.
I hope so.
Miss seeing y'all at Pomona. It was a lot of fun last summer.
Oh yeah. And I think we mentioned this at the beginning of the show, but just for those of you who are just tuning in, or maybe if you skip the sample updates, that's fine. But we do have the fast test coming.
Yes. Yeah. So for clown, DGC, BPI, Azanthic, those are going to be live by the time we do this show again. We'll already be started. Next Monday is when we're planning to have that, and it will be 2 business day turnaround. So it'll be nice and fast. And like I said earlier as well, I'll be adding more. Right now it's just those 3, but we'll be adding Pied and Hypo and Puzzle and Yellow Belly Complex. We'll be adding several more as quick as we can. By the end of the month, hopefully have 2 or 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, that'll be a game changer. And finally, we have our ending segment, the Why I Do This. And this time we have some friends that we've had on once or twice before now, our friends over at Leviathan Snakes, and they're here to tell us why they do what they do.
Steven with Leviathan Snakes, and our good friends over at RGI recently hit us up with the question, why do we do this? And there's so many different ways that you can go about answering this question, but we kind of distilled it down to 3. So the very first reason why we do this deals with the animals themselves. And we personally breed ball pythons, and we think that ball pythons are the perfect pet. They are so docile, you can handle them, you can just hang out with them, but their care is so easy and so low that if you're really busy and maybe you work full-time or more than full-time, they're not like a dog or a cat that are going to miss you and have those kind of social interactions that you absolutely must maintain. Otherwise, you kind of are laxing in your duties as a keeper. Ball pythons, they're not like that at all. Like, you can keep them in their enclosure and they are perfectly fine, but if you want to hold them, they're also great for that too. In addition to just their handleability and ease of care, we love the fact that they come in so many different morphs that you can combine the patterns and colors and you can make things that have never existed before. And that actually leads into the second reason why we do this, and that is the entire ball python breeding hobby is so wide open that I feel like it's kind of like a blend between science and art. You can combine different animals' genetics and make things that have never existed before, and that's not something that at least I've ever been part of. So the fact that you can make brand new combinations, you can make original things that, again, have never existed before is really, really appealing. And the fact that when you get really, really passionate about a project and you can just work that, I think that it's really cool and it's really, really exciting. Personally, if we didn't make a single penny off of ball pythons, there would still be projects that we would breed because I want to see what those animals end up looking like. And then lastly is the community. The reason why I think that the community is such a strong reason why we do this is because they have been so supportive, so welcoming to us, that of different fandoms, different communities that I've been a part of with different hobbies, I personally feel like that the reptile community has been the best. Like, we're pretty nerdy and we're into like Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. And I personally think that the ball python, or at least the reptile community overall, is so much more welcoming than those types of things. And I just think that the people that we've met, the friends that we've met within the community, are unlike any other friends that we've ever had otherwise in our life. So thank you so much, RGI, for letting us answer this question, and we hope you have an awesome rest of your show.
All right. Thank you so much, Steven.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Courtney as well.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much for sending that in. And honestly, I can't help but agree with all 3 of those points. I'm partial to colubrids myself, but the amount of diversity in the ball python community is just a testament to the love and creativity of the people who breed them. So it's wonderful to see.
Yes. And I especially like the point about it being a mix of science and art, because I'm similar. Like, I've never really been very autistic. I'm about as straight science minded as it gets, but I do like thinking about, different colors and patterns and, what will look cool, what will look interesting. And that's about as artistic as I get, is thinking about different mutations and things like that, morphs, and how to mix them, and combination is really cool. That's opened up as much art side to me as anything else in my life. That's for sure.
For sure. And I mean, hey, there's not many forms of art that you can also like feed and cuddle, and show off to your friends that, and it'll interact with them. I mean, I suppose like video games, but it's different. Anyway,
and also like you get to see what their babies look like and how their babies change and how their babies grow, like, and then the babies of those babies, like that's the other fun part to it, is that generational thing you get to follow if you do it over a long period.
Absolutely. And so with that being said, those of you who want to share your take on what makes the reptile hobby so worthwhile to you, you are encouraged to send in a story, a video, to the email listed on the screen, raregeneticsocial@gmail.com. Tell us why you do this, and maybe we'll feature you on one of our future videos.
And even though Kayla's still giving the side eye, I promise she's excited for your why I do this.
Exactly. Don't look at my face on the screen. Listen to my voice.
She is frozen. For those of you that didn't see that earlier, she's just frozen. She is excited.
Yeah, I do. I'm actually I promise I'm gonna look into how I can just fix that midstream so we don't have to worry about it. But until then, you get to see my side eye. But yeah, I guess that's a wrap for us today. You got anything else for us, Ben, before we call it a day?
That's it. Just thanks again. Like I said, when I was talking to Gray, we really do depend on all of you sending in sheds, and we also depend on collaborators like Jergen working out this hurricane test, and the others that have worked out others. It's really awesome to see this grow and change. If you had told me 2 years ago we were going to have 30 or 40 or 50 genetic tests for reptiles, I would have been very surprised.
Yeah.
So it's awesome, and definitely requires all of you to help out, and we really appreciate it. And I was just talking today, messaging and sending some of it to Kayla about some other species, blood python breeders asking, and so we've got species, other species sheds coming in, and thank you to all of you, and hopefully 2024 will be a year where we get to branch out into some other species too.
Here's hoping. Let us know in the comments what species you're hoping we can branch into next, now that we've got a pretty solid hold on the ball python morphs. Yeah, we'll see you next time. Outro in 3, 2, 1.